Good morning, everyone. We're going to look at a few of the broader markets this morning, as we typically do, and a few stocks and a few sectors. But with the broader markets being up here a bit, not too many stocks. But I want to make mention, this is not the type of gap up to buy, meaning several days up and then a gap up. It's usually sold into. So let's just take a look at those. We have, new area of minor support now that the S&Ps have pushed up above the prior high, and now a new reference point of major support. That major support now defines the uptrend, meaning if closer prices pull back to that, if they should, the more in question the trend is. And once it pushes below that, the uptrend in this time frame is over. So, the futures are backing off from the prior high, but they still are in an uptrend, and you can see here on the 24-hour chart, they're pulling back toward this support level. The NASDAQ has been underperforming of late. It was outperforming most of the year, but now as it's come in, as the Amazons and Facebook and such, Facebook came back quite a bit, but Apple and Amazon has been a big drag on the market. And so now, NASDAQ up several days in a row, up against this resistance area. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it holds on to this, whether this might become a double top, or whether, it just stalls here for a little while, which would be bullish, go sideways a bit, and then push up to new all-time highs. The Dow is making a new all-time high pre-market here. As you can see, it's also backed off just before the open here. So will this become an M top? And you always have to be aware of that possibility, even an uptrend. So this is a very shallow pullback. So it's good. It's bullish, especially when you get a bottoming tail and then an attempt to go lower and then another retest. That's a bullish pattern, and it's one that you would want to buy. But as it approaches this high, which is very close by, it has, I shouldn't say a tendency, but definitely the possibility of becoming an M top and taking out that low. So that'll be something I'm watching for. But at a minimum, it's going to have to break a prior day's low to even consider that. Should it be able to continue to higher? That's certainly bullish. And when we see prices push up to an old high, like here's your old high here, this is a very nice advance because it pushes decisively above those highs. Over here, when the high is close by that area of resistance, I'd say possibly the M top. If that doesn't play out, what we want to see, right, from a bullish point of view, is that it decisively takes out this high, and then we have a new reference point of minor support. So that's how you want to see a bullish trend continue, meaning if it's a shallow pullback, when it comes up to that high, it decisively takes it out and pushes up above it so that when the pullback occurs, right, it comes into that area of minor support where buyers show up again, higher highs, higher lows. Okay? Momentum doesn't slow down, right? And that's what we would be seeing here, is that there's a hesitancy for buyers to step up aggressively at the prior high, sellers taking control, and then that M top possibly forming. Now we've got oil down here this morning, and it's had a nice run. Where's oil? Here we go. Oil's down here a bit. It's coming up into resistance. It's had a nice run here, and there may be some shorting opportunities in oil stocks. Just taking a look at those sectors. Here's one of them. Well, this one's more oil and gas. But when you've got a run like this, of course it's bullish, and the weekly trend has been overcome. Let's do a little lesson here on how it's typically looked at and how it's misleading. In this case, it actually happened. But drawing trend lines, doing your trend analysis diagonally, is the way most would do it. However, when you do that, it's very subjective. Many times trend lines will break and major resistance is not overcome. And so all you have to do is look to the left, as I always say, and look at the high prior to the lower low. And if prices overcame that major resistance area, the trend line will break every time. Okay? Trend lines are meaningless. They are subjective. I know they're widely used, but it's something that is quite misleading. Look to the left. Look to where that major resistance is or major support. And if it's broken, the trend line has to break. Black and white. Black and white. Okay, so we have, let's look at XLE, because that was a little bit stronger, that part of the energy sector, but it's right up against its 200 period moving average here. It also broke through its major resistance area. However, it's down here a bit, as you can see. So when I look at some of these stocks that have had nice runs, right, like Halliburton, Rig, they're down here a bit. Do I think they'll go higher? Well, probably so, based on the higher time frames. But if you're an intraday trader and looking now at those intraday time frames where the trend has now turned down, from a day trading perspective, they present shorting opportunities because the daily time frame is extended, the intraday time frame is rolling over, and you can have a trading opportunity possibly for a few hours, a couple of days, because if it breaks below the prior day's low here, well, that's just normal type of retracements, and this time frame would suggest a pullback even to this minor support level here. So as an intraday trader, that opens up possibilities. Once it breaks support, you short retracements to resistance, looking for lower lows, and that's how you generate income trades using multiple time frames. All right, everybody, have a great trading week, and we will update tomorrow, and we'll see how things shake out. And we feel for all of those poor souls in Las Vegas, and terrible things going on here. Some crazy people out there. It's a dangerous world. Have a great trading day.